Hello everybody and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Zane. This is a very special build for you all, and the reason this is special is because I actually got a chance to play with this while I was at Gearbox HQ, and oh man is it fun. Now before I get into it, I want to thank you all for watching these YouTube videos and, well, allowing me to rebuild this channel slowly but surely. It's really nice to see everybody coming back in and seeing the subscriber count actually go up instead of down for once. So that's pretty dope. Amazing. All I had to do was actually upload content to a channel and people watch. Who'da thunk? Anyway, thank you very much and I appreciate it. And hey, if you're enjoying these builds and maybe want to see some endgame gameplay of these builds, do me a favor and leave a like. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the video. So, the first thing about this build is all about having an infinite action skill and having your clone do basically everything for you. This is the lazy man's build, while also being the infinite action skill, while also being the I run everywhere and collect loot while my clone kills everything build. It's whatever you want it to be. It's your best friend build. I love it. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is put 5 points into synchronicity. This skill. This is going to give us 20% extra gun damage while an active action skill is up, and we're going to have 2 active action skills up all the time, so this may as well just be flat 40% damage. Next thing we're going to put points into is 5 points into Donnybrook. The gun damage is alright, but we're really just trying to get that health regeneration, and that will come into play later. Why? Because it affects our Digistruct clone, which is very important. Next thing we're going to do is put 3 points into Prey Munitus, which is going to give the Digistruct clone extra magazine size, and then we're also going to put points into Quick Breather because you're going to be swapping around a lot anyway to move your clone all over the place, so hey, might as well grab it. Now we also need to put another point in somewhere. Don't put it in Fractal Frags or Duct Tape Mod because both these skills actively work against the build that we're trying to go for. So we're going to put 1 point into Borrowed Time. It's not even that useful. We just need to get down to the next tier. So this is all about frags. We want as many frags as we can get, and Pocket Full of Grenades is going to definitely help us. It's going to give us some grenade regeneration, and then we're also going to put 3 points into Supersonic Man. That will give us some extra movement speed as we maneuver the clone around. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and put a point into Boom Enhance. Now this is a very special skill because it's what all of our grenades were for. So every time that we summon our Digistruct clone, it will get increased gun damage, max health, fire rate, reload speed, and Digistruct clone duration for every grenade that it consumed. You can already see where this is going. That's right, it's going to get 60% gun damage, a whole bunch of health, because I apparently don't know what 8 times 3 is, 15% fire rate, 93% reload speed, and then 75% duration. It's kind of dumb. It's going to last forever, and it's going to do a lot of damage. It's actually going to kill everything. We're also going to go ahead and put a couple points into Trick of the Light, because why not? We really don't need it. I mean, honestly, Trick of the Light isn't honestly necessary, and I guess as an oh shit precaution, you can put a point into Old You, which lets you sacrifice your clone in order to get back into Second Wind in case you can't get a Second Wind. But the whole point of this build is that the Digistruct clone is going to basically do everything, which is why we're going to go ahead and change a couple things up with this action skill. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and put a point into which one is real. When you use your clone, or rather when you swap, the enemies are more likely to shoot the clone. And in addition to that, we're going to put this on to make it so that way any damage that it deals will instead refresh our shield as well. This is going to make it so your shield is always topped off, and that will be important for later on. Then we're also going to go ahead and put a point into Double Barrel, which is going to copy whatever gun that you have equipped whenever you activate the skill. So if you have a shotgun in your hands, it will use a shotgun. You're going to want to give it something with long range, any kind of AR, any kind of sniper rifle. It doesn't miss, so keep that in mind. It's going to do basically everything for you. I ended up equipping it with a ridiculous assault rifle, and it was just sniping things that anything that it could see, it was just sniping. It could shoot a fly. It's honestly kind of dumb. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start going into the undercover tree. Now the first row of traits are basically useless. Adrenaline doesn't really matter because we'll have ways to regen our action skill. We don't need Hardy Shock, and we don't need Ready for Action. So kind of just put whatever you want, you know? It really doesn't matter. So put 5 points into the first tier. Now what we will need is 5 points into Brain Freeze. This is very important to the build. Whenever you get a critical hit, you will have a chance to slow the enemy, and this will stack until they are frozen. We will need to freeze enemies for this build to actually be useful. Also, go ahead and put on your barrier. The next thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to get Confident Competence, which makes it so that way whenever our shields are full, we will get gun damage and accuracy. Well, rather, we will have a larger bonus based on how full our shield is, but considering the clone's going to be taking all the damage and refilling our shield, we won't really have to worry too much about that. So anyway, that's for us. Anyway, we pretty much have a couple more points here that we need to just kind of throw in. So we'll throw in a couple into Stiff Upper Lip, and then we'll throw one more point into whatever, because making everything look green is cool. Now we want to go ahead and put a point into Futility Belt, which makes it so that way Zane gains resistance to non-elemental damage, and after a kill skill, all elemental damage gets converted into non-elemental damage. The reason this is important is that it makes it impossible for him to get affected by status effects, because it no longer deals any status. There are no status effects because you're getting hit with non-elemental damage. It's actually really nice. It also makes it so that way Stiff Upper Lip does even more damage reduction. Now, honestly, this is all kind of irrelevant because of the fact that the clone is going to be taking all the damage anyway, but hey, it's kind of nice to have regardless. Next up is we're going to put 4 points into Best Served Cold, which is just a little bit, it's just some nice effects there. And then we're also going to put a point into Calm, Cool, and Collected. Now, this is where the magic happens. Whenever Zane freezes an enemy, his shield instantly begins recharging. If his shield is already full, he regenerates health. If Zane's health is already full, his action skill and cooldown durations are immediately reset. Now, that right there is what this whole build is about. We have a clone tanking damage and making sure that our shields are at full at all times, because we won't be taking any shield damage. They obviously won't be able to dip into our health. Because they can't dip into the health, our shields are going to be full, we're going to freeze an enemy, and the clone lasts forever. And that, in a nutshell, is the build. Now, we have an extra point. I'll let you throw it wherever you want it to go. It really doesn't matter because you're really not going to get that much of an effect. I guess throw it into really expensive jacket, because nothing looks better than a really expensive jacket. And we also have 2 augments that we can throw onto our barrier here. A lot of them are actually really, really nice, but we're going to go ahead and put points into Charge Delay, which is going to give us a little bit of extra movement speed. And then we can also go ahead and put a point into Nanites or some shite, which is going to give health regen as you are closer to the barrier. And because we can actually pick the barrier up and move it around, guess what we're going to do? That's right. We're going to put it right next to our clone so they start regenerating health. So if we don't have the kill skill up, we can still regen its health with our infinite action skill. And that is the build. Let me know what you think about it. I was able to get a hands-on with this kind of a build, and it was just dumb. I put down the clone in the highest area, and I just let it kill everything. And then, like, if I felt like it, I could just swap places whenever and just have it go somewhere else. I just had the clone do everything. And when the clone wasn't doing everything, I already had ridiculous amounts of gun damage. Like, you've got 20% here, you've got 40% here. You've got so much extra damage passively for just simply existing with 2 action skills. Not to mention you're running around with a barrier that's never going to go down, because you've got the extra amp damage because you're constantly shooting through the barrier that you're carrying. You've got extra movement speed and reload speed. You're regenerating health and have better reload speed. It's probably the best build that I've created yet. It almost makes me want to main Zane. It really does. Now, I could stretch this out to 10 minutes to get better ads, or I could just say, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video, everybody. Bye-bye.